land when you give thanks to the Almighty. It says, when thou hast eaten and are full, and it talks about the things that Yahweh has multiplied. And for us, most of it here is we can look at the benefits of our little bank accounts that we got. And we can see where Yahweh has multiplied that week in and week out. So this is why, because Yah has been a good force in our life. And so for all the goodness, when we pray, and that's why my boys, when they pray, sometimes they start adding all this stuff in the prayer. I'm like, son, we're just about to eat, but this is no. That's what this is talking about. You thank him from everything, from the good trip, for the good day at school, for clean clothes, for whatever you can think about, you throw it in there and you're about to get ready to eat. Because as Morty said earlier, all the thoughts on the day, the vast majority of them go across food. So we might deal with that a little bit later, but right now we're going to get to some singing. And who's up first? Praise Yah. Hallelujah. All right.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah. This is like a little congregational song, real easy. Y'all hope y'all sing it with me. So we catch on. Okay.
Hallelujah.
dead airspace. We can't just have it. Okay, he don't like us to sign it out there.
David.
And
Praise y'all.
hallelujah.
Y'all commanded us to wear fringes.
Yes,
border
he
our
did.
garments,
Yes, he did.
to show y'all representing God's commandment. Hallelujah. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. Friends on, each and every day. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. Friends on. When I pull up, it's some 12 that you hear. But I'm bumping y'all's music and it's straight for your ear. Yes, I'm a Hebrew, but I stay fly. Cause I got my swag from the Most High. Walking with Israel and I show up at stride. And I got my fringes hanging on my side. 7 days a week, I'm giving up praise. Not to no man, just the ancient of days. His name is Yahweh, there is none other. I'm about to blow these Christians out of the cover. Yahweh is coming, there is nowhere to hide. Cause for your sins, old man did die. When I drop it to the floor, just believe I'm praying. A higher is near and he's not playing. Shout hallelujah if you feel what I'm saying. We gotta get it right, ain't no more delaying. Hey, you can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. Fringes on. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. Fringes on. Each and every day. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table in the presence of my enemies. He anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Most High Yah forever. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hey, you can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. Hey, you can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. You can go your way, I'm repping Yahweh. Fringes on, each and every day. They can go they way, we repping Yahweh. They can go they way, we repping Yahweh. They can go they way, we repping Yahweh. Fringes on, each and every day. Hallelujah.
I'm repping Yahweh. I keep my fringes on each and every day.
I don't know, the sisters might be taking over. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah. I want to specifically thank Yahweh for blessing me to see another Earth Day. So, hallelujah. I thank you, y'all. Okay, and B, I see you back there.
But you have to be strong.
That's right.
Strong. To see the goal and to get there, you have to be strong. You have to persevere. To to see Jerusalem and get there. We always talk about that. To see that great day, you gotta be strong. We have to persevere, and we have to persevere through a lot, and a lot more that's coming.
Israel, keep your head up. Israel, don't give up. I know sometimes the going on this path can get tough, but you know where you gotta put your trust in Yah, and Yah, and Yah, and Yah, and Yah. Israel, keep your head up. Israel, don't give up. Delight yourself in Yah, my good sister, cause that's a must. And He'll smooth it out for you when it gets really rough. I done came a long way, yet I have so far to go. A righteous man falls 7 times, so Yahweh, please hold me close. It's a two-way word out there, you know. Oh yeah, I know you know. We have to be the light so the people know what path to go. The wicked man plotting against Yah and his people. From sunrise to sunset, all they do is plot evil. Counting book of bad and bitter, sweetness of deceitful. Praise Yah in this bitch like we secure like Van Diesel. Stay true to the duty, fly like an eagle. Search the book of Yah and none of these shall fail you. But you have to stand in that old path and stay true. But you have to stand in that old path and stay true. Israel, keep your head up. Israel, don't give up. I know sometimes the going on this path can get tough, but you know where you gotta put your trust in Yah, and Yah, and Yah, and Yah, and Yah. Israel, keep your head up. Israel, don't give up. Delight yourself in Yah, my good sister, cause that's a must. And He'll smooth it out for you when it gets really rough. Yeah, we got the righteous Elohim of old. It's His wisdom that's worth more than the finest of gold. Now without your get ye understanding. Open up your ears and heart and know that He's commanding. Yeah, He smote Pharaoh and all his men. Now the whole world knows the power is in Yah's hands. We have the righteous Elohim of old. It's His wisdom that's worth more than the finest of gold. All your lions of Yehuda, let me hear you roar hard. Know that Michael standing over us, keep in guard. All the lioness of Yehuda, let me hear you roar. Love is strong, son is strong, daughter Yah is looking for. We are the chosen people, clothe yourselves in righteousness. Put your best foot forward, cause our Abba deserves the best.
We can't be weak, and then we don't see it. So we're focused. We have to be strong. Strengthen your hand. Be strong. I want to be there. No man can stand against you, but you got to be strong. You have to strengthen yourself and be a good person.
That's what we gonna do, Israel. Israel, keep your head up. Israel, don't give up. I know sometimes the going on this path can get tough, but you know where you gotta put your trust in Yah, and Yah, and Yah, and Yah, and Yah. Israel, keep your head up. Israel, don't give up. Delight yourself in Yah, my good sister, cause that's a must. And He'll smooth it out for you when it gets really rough. Hallelujah. I was wondering. Okay, Brandon B, I see you. I'm praising Yah, I want my thumb up in His boot. I'm praising Yah, I want my mother
Yeah.
I find work, Jack, I'll never let go. So hit the road, Jack, don't come back no more. No, I'm not gonna mind, okay, answer, that's for sure. I feel a little air, who's at the window? No, I was prepared, and my bars are everywhere. Looking way up to my ruin, but sometimes I trip downstairs. His mercy endures forever, and that's the reason why, and that's the reason why, and that's the reason why.
All right, let's give her another round of applause. Oh, we got another person that's going to give us
Another song.
All right.
Praise Yah.
We got one more performer.
Praise Him. Hallelujah.
Said sports and their Thanksgiving praise. So, one more. Hallelujah.
Forever.
Forever, yeah. I'll never forget the day I found this information out. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. Let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. You don't know, let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. Let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. You don't know, let me tell you what it means. That means that we keeping the commandments. I know you see it and you can't stand it. That means we don't celebrate your folly ways. We look to Leviticus for your feast days. That means we know a day don't start at night. We look to the heavens for your straight lights. That means we don't eat no manner of blood, and meat is only clean if it's choose to cut. That means on our clothes we rockin' fringes. We set apart and you can't miss this. That means the New Testament is a lie. We are woke now and it ain't gonna fly. That means that we know exactly who we are. Real Judah, Israel, weapons of war. That means that we resting on the Sabbath day, and we don't praise no other God but Yahweh. Hey, we are who the dean. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. Let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. You don't know. Let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. Let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. You don't know, let me tell you what it means. We rock rocks, we rock clothes. We got fringes hanging on all our clothes. We keep the law, we don't eat swine. We know you messing with God's ordinance and time. We praise Yah, Yahweh alone. And we don't got no graven images up in our home. We call His name, we not ashamed. Forever the same. Yahweh never changed. His love remains. This is so plain. But you can't see that this is our history. Yah is our rock. Not JC. He'll be destroyed and God's word won't come back void. This is our life. And our length of days. We walking in His path. He shows us His ways. His always perfect. Converting the soul. You can keep the new, I'm sticking with the old. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. Let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. You don't know, let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. Let me tell you what it means. We are who the dean. We are who the dean. You don't know, let me tell you what it means. Praise Yah, 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 praise Yah.
Hallelujah. We like it. We like it.
Hallelujah. Okay. All right. Let's give our performers another round of applause. All right. Before we get going in the next segment of our class, which this portion of our class you could thank for our dearly beloved sister who's not here today, Sister Beulah. She made a statement last week, and I must say I've been thinking about it all week long. Let's turn to Jeremiah 17. I'm gonna just show you how she brought it out, and this was a very good And I don't know if it was a question or a comment last week that she made, but I thought this was excellent because it actually magnified this statement that Yah made. And he added a word that, okay, all right, so the little ones, I think, want to have children. So, if any of the little ones wish to go upstairs, Sister Zuriel will assist with the teachings of the little ones. Praise Yahweh. And for those, I know somebody expressed that they, for those who just want to just sit tight. All right. So, last week she brought this script up, and she brought out a particular word, which actually had me thinking, and I actually thought about it, and this is one of those words where I think we've all been victims of. So in Jeremiah 17, let's look at the 9th verse. We've read this 1,000 times, but the emphasis is on a particular word here. And can I get a reader today? Is there anybody that read? I'll read for myself. Okay, all right. It doesn't matter. Sure, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say I just sometimes know that as I read, I'm able to read, and I don't want to be reading fast and stumbling. Sometimes you all are good catchers of that. All right. But Jeremiah 17, we're going to look at this. And it's the 9th verse. It goes, the heart is desperately wicked above all things. The heart is deceitful above all things. And desperately wicked. Who can know it? Now, the word she brought out last week to bring emphasis to this script was what word? Desperate. Desperate, desperate, desperate. Now, before we get into this, I want to preface this. Let's turn to Leviticus 19. Because this is going to help us bring some light once we read this verse right here, or read these verses here, and we start dealing with this desperation. It should hopefully bring some clarity to it. Because when she brought this out last week, I had to think about it like, man, are we victims? Am I a victim? I had many things I thought about. I'm like, man, this, as I look on, I might still have some of these attributes baked in me even as I serve Yahweh. Because until we magnify these words, we never know really where we reside. So, Leviticus, I think it was 19. Yeah. Leviticus 19. I'm going to look at the 17th verse. This is a very clear command. But if you look at this command, you can start at the 9th verse. We read this a lot here. But if you go in Leviticus 19 and you read 9 on down, this is talking about how you deal with your brother in many different instances. It talks about how you don't steal from each other. You don't deal falsely. You don't swear falsely to your brother. You don't curse the death of the blind among your people. 15, you don't do no unrighteousness in judgment. 16, you don't go talking about your people. And then 17 is a very clear statement. It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. But the key component is hate. And that hate is a particular attribute that's defined or that you can qualify by some actions. Like he was talking about earlier, you don't love your mother and father by using profanity towards them. That is a form of hatred. You could say you love all day long with your mouth, but the moment you open up your mouth and start spewing curses towards them, that is a sign of hatred, whether you know it or not. Same thing with your father. Your father tell you to do something, you feel you're a young man, want to talk back, or maybe dad hadn't been in your life or around your life or in your life, you feel that you ain't got no reason, you don't have a reason to obey and honor him. So when he come around finally and try to make amends or make a relationship, now you have all these things built up in you where you say, And then you start behaving a certain way. Why do you behave that way? And so this command is very clear. Just as she healed about the command of loving your mother and father, not smiting your mother and father, honoring your mother and father, those words are words that when a person acts or behaves in front of, towards their parents, you should clearly be able to get some clear insights of whether this person loves their mother or do they have some disdain towards them. And so it will be word by the words that emit out of their mouth and the actions they have towards them. So we have a very clear command here to love your brother. So what causes us not to love them? What causes us to go into these many different states where we'll say, yeah, I love them, but there's always something, that caveat that keeps that love from being a completion or a totality. And what you want to do is, this is where we talk about, you don't want to be a right person. You want to be a, say it loud, you said it, righteous person. You don't want to be just right about things. You want to walk in a totality of attributes that have been declared right by He who made you. So when you look at this, let's turn back to that Jeremiah 17. Because what I found out here as I was looking at this word is this word desperate. To preface this, let me show you something. Turn to Job, the 2nd chapter. I'm going to show you how desperation can enter into your life. And Yah, He will test us. See, when Yah said, I think somebody read earlier, Sister Abaya, when she gave the blessing, she read that Deuteronomy 8. Ain't that where you was at, sister?
Yes, sir.
And she was talking about how Yah will try us with manna. He tried us with food. That correlation of what she just read, Yah trying us, and Mordecai earlier saying about how many times we think about food during the day, that lets you know that Yah has a perfect consensus on how to test you and find out if you good, bad, rotten, righteous, etc. All you got to do is create some hunger in your life and then throw you out there. You ain't going to care about what's cooked with what was cooked with what. Is it chicken or pork? Is just white and stringy? I don't know, it's chicken. You're going to tell yourself that is what you want to believe. And that's because something has been created in you. And that which has been created in you is called desperation. So let's look at how Yahweh allows desperation to come into your life. We're going to look at Job, the 2nd chapter, and the first verse. We're going to read down a few.
Job chapter 2, verse 1.
Job chapter 2, verse 1. Can we turn my brother up a little bit? Turn mic 2 up for him, please. All right, go ahead, my brother.
Job chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh.
Let's read just a little slower, just a touch.
And Satan came also among them to present himself before Yahweh.
All right, and we know Satan in Hebrew means what?
Adversary.
Adversary. So this is someone who's coming to deal with man in adversity or in an adverse way. So he is presenting himself before Yahweh. Okay, go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth Elohim and escheweth evil, and still holdeth fast to his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause.
Go ahead.
And Satan answered Yahweh and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life.
So here's your catch right here of how desperation can quickly be entered into your life. The 4th verse, see, Yahweh has sent Satan to do a job, and Satan was testing a perfect man. And a perfect man is a man who's not easily moved. He's what you call, as we read in Psalms, the 1st chapter, he is planted by the rivers of water whose deep roots go down into the earth and take up the most precious of minerals. That's how Job was. So he was a man that was hard to be moved. He could not be moved. They would just come over and slap him and have him jump all on you. He was up a different stead. So Satan knew right then and there that I can't do with him like I do with other people. So here is where Satan, and that word, what we use is temptation, But also now his temptation of man brings about in man that word that we call desperation. Read on. Well, not read on, but that's what that 4th verse is qualified. Now you can further read this. Go to Job, turn to the 6th verse. So as you see here, Jason, y'all might allow him to touch him. Touch his children, touch his skin, touch Job in a way to try to see how this man was cut. Was he as righteous as he proclaimed, or was he as righteous as Yah saw him to be? Because man didn't declare Job perfect. Yahweh declared him perfect. So in Yah's declaration, Yah still had to have Job know just how righteous or perfect he was. So all the things that happened to Job was for Job to know. Yah already knew. And here's something that was clear. Look at the 6th chapter.
6th chapter or 6th verse?
6th chapter, Job, the 6th chapter. And this is when Job started reproving his friends. Okay? And so one thing I can say is, as I read the book of Job, the more I read it, the more I come to understand that his friends, Elihu, and his brothers had a lot of knowledge. A lot of things they spoke were rightfully true. But in the context they were saying towards Job is where the error was. So look at the 21st verse. Let's read 21. Let's go down a few verses. And this is Job talking to his brethren.
Job chapter 6, verse 21. For now ye are nothing. Ye see my casting down and are afraid. Did I say, bring unto me, or give a reward for me of your substance, or deliver me from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the mighty? Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand wherein I have erred.
And that's the words of a righteous man. A righteous man will always want to know where he erred at. Keep going.
How forcible are right words, but what doth your arguing reprove?
And this lets you know that, yes, Job's friends spoke a lot of right words. But they forced those words upon him because they did not know that Yah was doing some things to Job. Job knew that he himself was a clean man, so he was upset that they were on him like that. So keep reading.
Do ye imagine to reprove words, and the speeches of one that is desperate?
What? Read that verse again.
Do ye imagine to reprove words, and the speeches of one that is desperate, which are as wind?
See, and this is where a lot of people, desperations come from. See, Job was in a very desperate state, and we know up until the 6th chapter because of all that Yah had done to him. Took his children, took his home, took his health, took his almost his sanity. So Yah had took everything from this man. So when these men came upon them, he understood very briefly. Do you imagine to reprove words and the speeches of one that is desperate? So that word desperation is a word that speaks about a man that has very little or no hope. Very little or no hope. It is a man that is without care or safety. And not just a man, but the word desperation means to be done without care or safety. When you're desperate, you are rash. You're fearless when you're desperate. Fearless of danger. Hopeless. Irretrievable. I mean, you ain't gonna come. When you desperate, ain't gonna call them back. Ain't no call. You ain't trying to hear nothing when you're desperate. Furiously, with rage, without regard for danger. This is how a desperate person behaves. And desperation usually comes as a byproduct of something else that's going on with you. So, when you look at this thing, it's something that we all have experienced. All of us. And I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes when you think about desperation, I must say sometimes you have to understand your limits. See, as Yahweh tested Job, for him to know, sometimes all I have to do is think about some very desperate things and I have to question my actions. I know where my love and my heart is. So sometimes if you paint a scenario in your mind that ain't real, you don't want to be dwelling on it. But sometimes you have to understand how would I? And so this is something that a lot of us choose to try to block out of our mind, but it's something that many of us suffer from. Many of us enter into desperate situations, especially when your job is on the line. That's the money that comes in for your children, for your home, for your safety. When that thing is in jeopardy, a lot of you will do things which the desperately wicked heart will jump to. When your relationship is about to crumble, you become desperate at things. You will say things and try to battle love back and keep somebody around who just tried to kill you last night. Because the heart is so desperate, don't want to be alone, that it will do and jump at anything. And you can go on. So that desperation usually comes as a byproduct. And I'm going to show you something. Turn to Ecclesiastes. As a matter of fact, let's turn to Jeremiah. No, sorry, turn to Jeremiah 17. Because, well, before we go there, stop. Let's go there. Let's turn to Ecclesiastes 2. I want to go to Jeremiah. Let's turn to Ecclesiastes because this is Solomon. And I want to show y'all something about him. See, when you look at, and the one thing I learned as I started studying this desperation, they say that when you see desperate people, they're not usually desperate overnight. People who have desperations in many areas of their life, it has been there for a long period of time. A person, and when I say that, I mean, for instance, desperation comes when usually something is withholding from you. Usually when something has been taken from you. The body or the mind or the spirit wants it back so much that as soon as the heart signals that it's there, you reach. That's what a form of desperation is you reaching for what we may call low-hanging fruit. May not be the fruit you need, but because you are desperate, you're going to reach for it. Like Alicia used to say, a drowning man will reach for what? Straw, as if it was a log. So desperation comes out of conditions. And so we're going to look at this. Turn to Ecclesiastes. Because when I saw this about Solomon, I had to start thinking like, well, wait a minute. Why are these words being said? And we're going to read this because this now can start to paint some pictures of why he did some of the things he may have done. Or maybe this is just me seeing this. I don't know. But we know that there was no wiser man. But because you are wise, they're wise in the day that can split, what do you call them, subatomic particles. You know, none of us know how to do that. You know how to split subatomic particles. That means you know how to create a bomb. And you know how to create a bomb. You know how to create a bomb that can kill not one person, not 100 people, not 1,000 people, but 10,000 and 100,000. That means any government will want you for that. So your knowledge and your capabilities, can also create a form of desperation in you as well when you're not receiving the benefits or the things that you are looking for. So look at this Ecclesiastes 9. I want to show y'all something in here. And like I said, this might have just been me when I was reading this. But I want y'all to look at these words of Solomon. I'll say Ecclesiastes 9 is Ecclesiastes 2. Ecclesiastes 2. And we're going to start at the 11th verse. And I want y'all to look at some of these things. Now remember Solomon. Remember what Yahweh said about us that he would do to us in the land of our captivity. What did he say? One of the first things he would do to us when we go into captivity. He would smite our minds with what? Madness. And with what? Blindness. Those are two curses. Remember that. Let's start the 11th verse.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 11. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun.
Now, who blesses a man to get profit, or who blesses a man to get substance? Yeah. It is Yah. And there's several scripts on it. I didn't find one from here, but when I read, I was like, well, wait a minute. He's now talking about the power of his hands. So let's continue to read on because we recognize that anything we get, we come from Yah. So let's keep reading on.
And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness.
What?
And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can a man do that cometh after the king?
See that? That's the cliche when you ever hear people say that power corrupts,
Absolute power.
but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what this verse right here is talking about. Who can come after me and do something? I'm the king. I can do it all, and can't nobody stop me. That's absolute power. I could say it's gonna be like this because I have it, and that's how I say we're gonna do that, and that's how that. Well, that's what you get when you got absolute, and that's what he did. He was the beginning of the destruction of our kingdoms. Because he chose to take them wives, and nobody won't stop and tell him, man, what you doing, man? Them Zidonians, man, don't you know them some creepy women? Open your mouth again at me, child. Who won't stop him? Who won't say something? So as a result of that, when he said he gave his mind and his heart over these things, you got to recognize now he opened this gateway up for some things to come in him that could latch onto his spirit that he might start to like. Like some of our people, we had a brother who thought he was so smart. He thought that he could do crack and not give up. That's how smart. He called people weak who was crackheads in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. He called them weak. Got with some friends one night. Y'all, they weak. Oh, yeah? Oh, really? Yeah, I showed him. Lost his little funky job at GE. I'll tell you that right now, because he thought that he could outdo something that their heart latched on to something. Oh, really? You gave me this? See, I had a cousin one time do that stuff, and he told me, smoking this stuff made me feel like a champ, man, but afterwards I feel like, right in my face, we teenagers, right in high school, and he was saying, I'm never like, I feel like a champ. I feel like a champ. Mike Tyson was a champ back then, so you know, he said that, I feel like a champ. See, so this is where heart and desperation, that's what their heart is desperately wicked. How you know your heart don't like that? He thought in his mind, he was so smart that his heart was not going to cleave onto that cocaine. See, but that's why the scriptures teach us that wisdom does what in the street?
Crieth out.
Wisdom crying. All you got to do is go out there and look at all them crackheads on the bridges and find out what all I'm doing. Like, I ain't messing with that stuff. That should have been your wisdom. But for him thinking his pride and his heart, he thinking he's so high and mighty, y'all weak who do that stuff. I can show y'all right here, right now, but he didn't know what Yahweh knew, which is that the body works like this. Your heart is the first signal. Then it goes to your mind, then the body feels, and the next thing you know, that's why you can hear stuff and keep going on. You hear something, your body don't respond before the mind, because you don't even know what that noise is. See, and once you find out what that noise, then the body calms down, unless your heart working to try to get you out there, run, check, grab the gun, do whatever you got to do. Then when you find out, I left the back door open, now you start to regulate yourself. So when they say desperately wicked, that means you can be attaching yourself to stuff and you don't even know why. Just like he had no idea he would be attached to that dope. And it destroyed him. It destroyed him. So Solomon giving himself to these things that right there, this is one of these scriptures, this is one of these key scriptures to me that let me know how Solomon got in trouble. He gave his heart to madness. Something that Yahweh said he will curse us with. He gave his heart to folly. These were the things that were the tools of our destruction when we turned our hearts against Yahweh. But he gave it in. So that means if you want to know what it was like to be with some creepy Zidonians, guess what? Let me go see. Who won't stop him? Nobody. So he was able to do that without anyone coming to, and this is where you start to, so let's keep on. That's why this is one of the key verses to let me know why Solomon probably got himself in trouble, because he thought that the knowledge was just so, maybe he forgot about Yah at some point. I don't know. Go ahead, my brother.
And I turn myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can a man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that the one even happeneth to them all.
See, this is one thing, this is where you start to see that change. He saw that, well, to the wise man and to the man without knowledge, the same thing happened to them all. So now you start to see where he started to sense something. So let's keep reading.
Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to a fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity.
See, he failed at that moment to understand that Yah is the one that lifts one up. And Yah brings one down. He right here asking, well, why do y'all wait? Why am I smarter than this man over here that's a fool? You know, we all the same, but you're not all the same. You asked for something specifically, and y'all blessed you with something greater. You asked for that which he gave you understanding. But now you upstairs, now that you to the point where you now starting to question it, and we're not, because you know Solomon's very wise, so let's not try to paint this as a negative picture on him. We just want to understand that these are scriptures that help you understand how a man so wise could go off and start to deal with strange women, and then his son started to follow that same behavior, and that was the destruction of our families when we had kings. So that behavior was precipitated because they saw that action done before them, going off and marrying these strange women. Y'all know what Jezebel was, wasn't she? She was a Zidonian, the worst of them all. Killed off our prophets. Y'all's prophets, his people. You married that creep and she came and did us harm. Because you want to give your heart to some folly, some things that this is where. So now when that's for that desperation, so I want y'all to keep desperation in mind because we can all start to see how that word starts to play. Shalom, my elder. Praise the mighty God. Good to see you this evening. All right, we are, go ahead, when we leave off? 15.
Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why then was I more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever. Seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man as the fool?
So this question right here, this may be true in maybe a very simple context. But I'm going to tell you right now, the wise man has always been a champion among men. Not always. Let me take that back because see, the point I'm making is that we even still hear of Solomon today. We still hear of his greatness. And today they talk about the Einsteins and Plato, this is the Gentiles, their fathers. So wise men in the earth there's always been some recollection of them. But like I say, this may be true because there's another script that talks about the poor man's wisdom and how he's not respected. So this does have some credence, but in the context of what Solomon had to everyone else, this is where I just start to see this just a little different. Okay, go ahead in 17.
Therefore, I hated life.
What?
Therefore, I hated life.
See, when you start to give your heart to madness and give your heart to folly, you sometimes start to fail to see those gifts that are right before your eyes. And in hating life, now you know what happens when you have self-hatred. What happens when you have self-hatred? What's the first thing they say our brothers that got self-hatred do? They go off and what? Marry who?
A white woman.
That's the first thing they say. That's the first sign of self-hatred. I don't want to be reminded of them ends no more. I came from that ghetto, trash. I don't want to say I'm going to get me a snow bunny, and I'm going to move out here, and I don't want to see them no more. That's how a lot of our people behave. See, they don't want to be no reminded of what our people came from. So self-hatred precipitates behavior. First thing you don't want to do is you self-hate yourself. That's why I went over there and said that. That's why I prefaced this before I read this with that Leviticus 19, because we have given the command in 17 that it says, thou shalt know what? Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, but thou shalt in any wise rebuke him and not suffer sin upon him. I was looking for the one that says, thou shalt love thy brother as thyself. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, 18. So when you got that command, this is where you have to watch people and the type of love that you receive from them. Because a person that hates themselves, now we got to keep this in context, because Solomon was a very wise man and he was a king, so he had much knowledge, much money. But imagine a poor man with this same type of attitude. A poor man that hates life. Imagine what he himself, how he's going to behave. To hate life means that he probably hates himself, so he's going to become a person that will be making a lot of decisions, what you call maybe rashly, without thought, without care, a lot of blame for other people and other things. So Solomon said, therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. This is personal. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it to the man that shall be after me. Now, who is the man that shall be after him, that shall receive his substance? Who is that man that should be? His who? His son. His son, his children. His children, right? Do they not receive the father's inheritance? Does he not talk about how evil is unto the son for the father to leave and not leave an inheritance to his children? So this is something where I had to kind of toil with that when I read this, but let's read on. It says, "Yeah, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it to a man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool?" Well, didn't we just read about here where it talked about train up the child in the way that he should go? See, when you got domain over your children, you're going to train them in a way in which you're comfortable. Do you know parents, when they cannot leave their children money that they can't trust, do you know what they do with that money? They put it in something called a what? A trust. And do you know what that trust do to the people who don't know how to behave themselves? What do they do with that trust? They put stipulations on it. You're going to have your job, you're going to get this. You go to college, you get that. You marry someone who I approve you to marry, you get that. You understand? But if you go out there and you want to go do everything opposite and bring shame on this family, you get nothing. See? So therefore, it is a glory for a man to leave an inheritance to a father. And if a father can't trust the children, then you can give them time to get it up. You can say, well, put it in this trust. After I'm gone, and I don't know Solomon, I'm sure they had some way of doing that back then. I'm not sure, so I don't want to. But I'm saying today we understand that there are ways in which you can protect that without hating your children or without looking at them like I don't want to leave them nothing. Because everything the king had will go to his children. It says, and who knoweth whether he... I'm sorry, go ahead, Dawid. Go ahead. She said, remind me I haven't read. I'm so used to reading. Thank you, Elder.
I just lost the spot to you.
All right, until you find it, I'll just read 19. It says, and who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? So your children, you should know what type of child you got. We read earlier, I think they brought out the script earlier, that a child left to himself brings to his parents shame. That's right, because you get off of work, you come home, you go in your room, you send your child in their room with that phone or that computer. The next 3 or 4 months later, you wonder why he up there trying to figure out what's this and what's that, and why they do this and why they do that. Because you left him alone with open range to a phone that could bring anything to his imagination into him. That's too much. That's too much. You will destroy that child. Your child will get confused on what, like I keep telling y'all. Most children you see, or most grown-ups you see, that have some type of sexual dysfunction, meaning I don't know if I should be with a man or a woman, I don't know if I should be with a woman or a man, go look in their past and see if they had some type of confusion back then. Meaning that a lot of us in this society, we get exposed to nakedness at an early age in these schools, showering, some of these other things they have after these events. Now, if you ask me, when we was in Robert E. Lewis, I'm like, man, this is like some pedophile stuff as I look back on that. You understand, in high school, you have it as just one big open place. You're like, well, wait a minute, that's some type of stuff that can go on Greek Roman showers and they bathhouses and all the stuff that go on there. This is stuff we have today, come out of a lot of that stuff that. So I'm thinking and I understand that when a person is confused about boy, girl, I see the boy, am I turned on, am I aroused? Girl, see a girl in the shower, am I seeing her, am I aroused? And you start having these crazy feelings and now you don't know how to channel them when you're an adult. So now when the little boy comes try to convince you as another little boy, hey man, we hanging out together, you don't know no better. There you are. Because you were confused. No one trained you properly and told you if this happens, smack. If this happened, turn around and run. If that happened, you come home and tell me. And I'm gonna get my other boys together and we gonna go talk to his dad. Or we gonna go talk to somebody. Because our society, our community is not gonna have this. But if you talk to love your enemies, and your community will have that wickedness fostered. Next thing you got little pedophiles running around living and picking up little boys and talking to them and you have no clue. Why? Because you allowed it to foster in your society. So, back here, where we at?
Verse 20.
Verse 20.
19.
19. Read 19 again.
And who knoweth And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have shown myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair.
What? There we go with that word, that desperation again. See that? He got upset. Now paint the picture. This is what we read here. Solomon, this is what you read. Solomon was thinking about all this work he done. It ain't fair that I'm smarter than them. And it ain't fair that we all gonna die. And it ain't fair that when I leave that they get to get my stuff. Why they get to get my stuff? That ain't fair. I don't even know if they're gonna be smart like me. They didn't work and build all this stuff. Do y'all see this kind of, I'm not the only one that see this? And he said, man, forget all that. As a result of that, I got mad. And in my heart's desperation, therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. And that word despair, that goes back to the without hope. That means he didn't have any good outlook on his work. See, that despair also, it means without, no hope. He didn't have any good, what do you call it? He didn't see anything good in it.
Substance.
Yeah, he didn't see anything good in his work. And read the next verse.
For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored therein shall he leave for his portion. This is also vanity and a great evil.
See that? So he's talking about himself. For there is a man whose labor in wisdom and knowledge. That was Solomon, right? And in equity, yet to a man hath not labored. Well, a lot of children, do you know a lot of parents when they come up, that's why that train your child up in the way he should go is so important. See, teaching and training are two distinctly different attributes. Those are two separate functions. Teaching goes with you engulfing the knowledge. We're just going to talk and I'm going to tell you what these things are. Training is actually putting the teachings in action. Do you understand? Training is putting the teachings in action. In school, in college, you go for the first 3 quarters and they teach you. They teach, and then in that 4th quarter, what do they give you? Something called a internship or a co-op. And there is where you then go and get your training in your field or area of study. You got it? So this training thing is something that when you train your child, you ain't sitting there talking to them. You got them up there, you show them, okay, you take the shower, put it up here, start the water, turn the water down some. All right, spray this over here. All right, take the rugs out. All right, take the soap, put it in here. Take everything off here, put it in the box. This is the clean box. Spray this all down. Don't spray it over here. And if it drip on the floor, you get it. That's training. All right, we did it this week. We're going to do it again next week. And next week, I shouldn't have to tell you as much. Then we're going to do it the 4th week. Next thing you know, you got your bathroom cleaned. Who's happy to clean? Do you know why? Because over time, he's going to realize the benefit that comes from his labor. He's going to realize that. Elder Doc gave a great example. Yesterday, go put all the chores in the hat. And she said, you hate to get this or get that, but I bet she could tell you that they all were trained in each one of those jobs. See, training your children prepares them to go out here and be labored by somebody who don't like them. They understand how to take that labor on and go get the benefits without being frustrated and quitting and then becoming what you call desperate. Because once that desperation seeps in, then you're going to have them acting out a totally different manner. All right? So this thing that we call desperation, it all comes from you as an individual having very little hope or outlook on a situation, and then you needing some action. And in the result of you needing that action, so for instance, if you're a person that somebody stole something from, they took your car, you got to get to work. We're going to talk about some desperate conditions here to help you understand how you will behave. Somebody took your car, you're going to sit there with your hands in your pocket, you went out started your car, which you should have been doing. You went back in the house, get the kids together, get everything packed up so it'll be warm, bring them out, boom, the car gone. What you going to do? You're going to sit there and say, rats, my car gone. Oh, well, let me go call the bus or... No. Desperation's going to kick in because that car is linked to your source to get to the job gets you your money to pay for the home, your mind in a matter of 1 to 3 seconds will think of all that. Kids, daycare, home, job, loss, what's going to happen. In 3 seconds, your mind will cover all that, and then that desperation, boom, now it's been kicked in. You start the panic start. Now, give me my phone, my car gone. That's the desperation. You need remedy right away. That's why Yahweh allowed Satan to touch Job's children. Because in the moment that that thing is taken from you, that desperation kicks in, and what we call chaotic situation, all of those attributes of despair, panic, these kicks in. When these things kick in, then you start to behave a certain way. You start to react as opposed to act. And that's why that scripture talks about the heart being desperately wicked. Because you don't know when your heart will go haywire. And all you got to do about your heart, I'm going to tell some of y'all, each one of y'all can do it. Y'all go home tonight to do it. But don't ponder on it. Don't dwell on it. Just think about the thing you love most and you care for most being taken tomorrow. Don't dwell on it, because you don't need to take those emotions on. But when you think about it, watch desperation kick in. Or watch the thing you love and care for most get into a jam that you have the potential to get them out of. Watch how your spirit kick in. You're going to be thinking about all things you can do quickly because desperation has sought in. So when it says the heart is desperately wicked, what that means is your heart will have a desire for something. You may not be consciously aware of it. You may have a feeling about it. You may not be consciously aware, and then again, you could be. But you have to watch yourself. The heart being desperately wicked is what you call a alcoholic not being able to go around any alcohol. Because he knows himself that once he goes around that word, what you call temptation, that word temptation can also be used synonymously with desperation. Because the heart, you call it temptation yourself. But your heart, those attributes that it will cause you to do will be moves of desperation. Your heart wants that alcohol, your mind say, no, 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 we're not going to have it. We're not going to do it. No, 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 I'm not going to take her out. No, 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 we're not going to go be alone together. No, no, no. But that heart can be like, shh, man, all I got to do is go watch some TV. Ain't nothing going to happen. Okay, let's go watch some TV. Your heart told that no, but your mind, you knew right then and there. That heart is desperate. It wants that feeling and that emotion. That's the body. It wants it. Your mind knows the laws of God. No, 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 I ain't supposed to be there. But the heart will tell you, well, sister, how y'all want to go have a drink and watch some TV? Okay, let's go have a drink and watch some TV. You know good and well that heart is setting the stage for corruption. You know it. That's what it means when they say desperately wicked. Your mind will know, I don't need to do this, I shouldn't do this. But now you have some motivation inside of you that's causing you to put yourself in a situation that you should not be in. That's why we turn to Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter. And the first verse.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1.
1 and 2. This is the second verse, but read 1 and 2, please.
Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim.
See that? Keep on.
For Elohim is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few.
This is a situation that we here in this class experience many times. Somebody will hear something, they don't like it. Ah! But. And not just in this class, but I myself, we used to do that in school and college. Wait, no, something ain't right. What do you mean? No, that ain't right. You try to tell us this is this and that mean that, but right here it says this. So desperation is when you yourself hear something that says, keep thy foot when thou going to the house of Elohim and be more ready to hear. That's your instruction right there. Right. You got instructions. Right. That's what you do. Period. All right? But it says there, be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifices of fools. And that sacrifices of fools is explained in the second verse. What's the sacrifice of a fool? See, what sacrifice is when you give up something. Right? When you make a sacrifice, you give up something. So the sacrifice of a righteous would be a righteous, well, it would be like, for instance, if a righteous man knew he sinned, the righteous man would bring an offering. He knows that. But a fool His sacrifice is going to be foolishness. And a fool right here in the house of Yahweh is going to be but. I said, nah, you ain't, That's a sacrifice of a fool. A righteous man going to be like, well, wait, okay, well, cool, let me, why? Because I got my instruction, I got to keep my mouth shut. But when that heart gets to jumping, you just made me look bad. You just called me this. You just said that. No, man. Nah. He wrong. He wrong. He ain't talking to me like that. That's that because you've been offended. It's ready to jump right. It's desperate now. You've been offended. It's ready to lash out. It's ready to jump out because it's gone. Your mind, no, I'm in class. I need to be quiet. Let me control myself. But that heart going, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. You about to get fed. See, that's what is desperate. Your mind may know that, no, because you tell yourself all the time, no, I'm going to be good. Let me calm myself. Woosah. Y'all do that all the time, and then the next trigger, boom, now you off. Desperately wicked. You got the instructions. But this thing is going 1,000,000 miles a minute. Why? Because it wants something. See, it wants something. Now, how do you curtail that? How do you check it? So we can talk about all the scriptures is full of, I had a whole bunch of stuff on being distressed, on being rash. What else? Having no hope. These are the scriptures that talk about desperation. And when you see them, they all point to the same thing. Something happens, and then you behave a certain way. So you read those scriptures on no hope, and you start looking at all the scriptures that talk about how our people didn't have hope. Turn to Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. Let me show you something. It's usually something that always happens when you become desperate. That's why that scripture said the heart is desperately wicked. That means your mind, you have all the good intentions in the world. If you was exposed to something sometime in your life that you have not suppressed or have gotten strong against, it can come back in and it can hurt you. It can come back in, it can hurt you. Jeremiah what? 2? And then I'm going to show you just a couple of scriptures on what it's going to take to crush or defeat your desperation or your desperate heart or the ways that you yourself will find reason to act out. And like I said, if you read these scriptures, be not hasty to utter anything. A lot of times those are what you call impulses. Be not hasty to utter anything. Usually when you're hasty to do something, that's usually what we call it an impulse. Jeremiah 2. Did I have that right? Yeah, so this is a situation, I don't know, I think I wrote down the wrong script. So this was our people talking about how, because, here it is. Let's look at the 23rd verse. We'll go down to 25.
Start at 23.
No, start at 21, and then go down.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 20.
And he's talking about our people here.
Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned to a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? For though thou wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith Yahweh Elohim. How canst thou say, I am not polluted, I have not gone after the deity? See thy way in the valley. Know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary, traversing her ways.
So now I like to talk about our wickedness. How we walk in the ways of a false idol and just become corrupt as a people. Go ahead.
A wild ass, used to the wilderness, that snuffeth up the wind at her pleasure, and her occasion. Who can turn her away?
Doing whatever we want. Just whatever we want. Keep going.
All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her month they shall find her. Withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou saidest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go.
See, that 25th verse saying, withhold thy foot from being unshod. An unshod foot means a foot without no shoe on. And thy throat from thirst. That means Yahweh said he's the fountain of living waters. We should be ready to drink from him and drink from his ways always. It says, but thou sayest there is no hope. That's that desperation again. We're like, man, serving Yahweh ain't going to benefit us now. Serving this God, we get some loving right away. We get some this right away. We'll get that right away. We'll have our sins forgiven right away. Something immediate always coming from these other deities. Withhold not thy foot from being unshod, not throw from thirst, meaning return back to Yah. But we said, nah, there ain't no hope in Yah. For I have loved strangers, and after them will I go. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets. So, just to show you that we as a people, once we turned our backs on the Almighty, once we became that state, then we allowed ourselves to walk and enter into a situation where we don't see good. You can't see good in the house of hell. That's why your enemies who give you houses of hell tell you that your success gonna come when you die. They gonna tell you your success, your joy, your glory, all the good gonna come is after you dead. That's the glory of their deity. It keeps you from having limited hope. You go, well, I guess the enemy gonna keep taking my children, selling them up the river, keep hanging my brothers. Oh, well, ain't nothing gonna happen. I might as well go serve their deity. I ain't consider that it's happened because we walked away from Yah. But we looked at it and said, well, that happened because and this goes in line with another verse where it says, because we didn't pour a drink out. I think it was Jeremiah 44. But it's talking about because we didn't do these things to the deities, all this evil came upon us. So I just wanted to show you all a few verses of desperation, but now I just want to show you a few verses, just a couple real quick on inspiration. And I want to let my elder brother come up here and give some words of wisdom as well before we get up out of here. So who knows how do you destroy or combat creating a desperate spirit within yourself? How do you minimize? Like I say, all you got to do is paint a couple of pictures and you know what it'll take to be desperate. Let your boss tell you we're closing the plant tomorrow, or your job is gone when you walk in. You're going to have some elements of desperation. Let you come on if you're a renter, tell them, oh, we're about to sell the house, or we're about to tear down the apartment complex. You're going to have some level of desperations into you. You're going to have some stresses. You're going to have some things come in which is going to force you to possibly do some things you should not do. And what keeps you from doing the things you should not do was also outlined in Ecclesiastes. When he says, be more ready to hear and get the sacrifices of fools, those were the instructions. To defeat your desperation, turn to Isaiah 34:16. This is the key to defeating desperation. Now, I didn't get a chance for the article, so I had an article that I wanted to read about desperation versus inspiration. And there was another article I read about some of the causes of desperation. And as you get time, you might be able to Google and run across them. But one of them talked about that desperation comes from isolation, being alone, and a few other things as far as, anger. Anger is one of those attributes that brings about desperation as well. Meaning that you yourself will become an impulsive person. That's what that means. You will impulsively choose that which you think is right. That which you think is right. Quick choice, why? Because you either felt like it or you're going to justify it some way. But the way you keep that desperation from mounting in you, growing in you, and here's one good example I read. Desperation versus inspiration. Desperation could be, you could say, you know what? We got to be in class, we're going to hop on the highway and get there as quick as possible so we can have all the time for our day. Versus inspiration might be like, well, it's the Sabbath day, class will be here all day, we're going to take the road and we're going to take our time and enjoy ourselves getting there. You're going to be utilizing every moment and not finding anything negative with it. Desperation, you always have to get something and be something because you might lose it. Whether getting class early so you don't lose no time. But that's where desperation always comes at some perceived loss of something. All right? And so here's where the instructions to combat you and your spirit and your heart. When you think that your heart is ready to jump for something, here's how it's combated. Isaiah 34. 16. And 16, go and read that, my brother.
Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
See that? Seek ye out of the book of Yah and read. And the thing is the failure here, no one of these shall fail. And why do you seek out of the book? Because when you're taking in the book, when you're seeking out of the book of Yah, you're taking in words. You're taking in words that then you now have to create pictures in your mind. See, it's different when you take in a word. If I say tree in the yard with boughs on it, every one of y'all will have a different picture of that. Your picture ain't gonna be the same as hers, and she might be your wife. Yours ain't gonna be the same as your daughter, and that's your child. You all are going to have different pictures. Yours may be in front of the house, an ideal house that you want. Hers might be in a candy field with a bunch of candy because she's a kid and like candy. So when you read and take words in, your mind then get to start going to work. It gets to start toying and playing and linking with something else and bringing something in. Well, somebody put a picture in front of you from somebody else's words. Then now that you got to take their surface value for what that word meant. That's why when you go, that's why people who read movies and books, people who read the book or the movie oftentimes always hate the movie. You know why? Because when they read it, they were able to envision all the things that were outlined in that book. When the screenwriter came and picked up the book and read it, he pictured all the things he wanted from his experiences in his childhood. So the neighborhood they shot it in, the house they used, the backdrop, all that was from his, that director and the creator know. You read these words of Yah, you take them in and make them real to you, as opposed to going and watch what we watch the Ten Commandments, so I know what the Ten Commandments and the Israelites are all about now. No. So seeking out of the book of Yah, that's one thing. And then also turn to Psalms 119. Because this is the one chapter, after I say you could take that Isaiah 34 and this entire chapter of Psalms. Psalms 119, we're just going to read a few verses and I'm going to call up my brother. Psalms 119, what does the 15th verse say?
Psalms 119 and 15. I will meditate in thy precepts.
I will what?
I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways.
Now, did he have a big old TV back then? He was reading them words and he was putting them together. And when you start putting words together, you start to meditate. You don't really meditate on things you see on TV. You meditate on things you read. Because when you read them, you now have to put points together to bring it together. They say usually everything that you formulate in your mind has 3 points of reference. I didn't know that. Everything you have in your mind has 3 points of reference. I got to think about that. So that point is that once you start to meditate, you start to look at is it a fourth point? Is it something else? But what about this script? What about that script? What about my brother? You see this situation right there? This is what this is talking about. Your meditation is what breaks desperation. Because now that's why the people who, what they say, and this is why you can see a lot of what they call Chinese movies of individuals who have taken on meditation and the monks and all them. Why when somebody ready to jump on them, they do this to them or they act like they're ready to smack them? What happened to them? They just stand there, don't they? Calm. They're not reacting ready to, that's a desperation. That's what I mean, the heart is desperately wicked, it's ready to react. Ready to move. But a person that has meditated and has got their mind fixed and understand what they have to do is very rarely moved. Very rarely moved. You what you call fixed. The heart is desperately wicked because you fueled it with wickedness. You gave it the smells of swine and barbecue pits. So now that you smell that smoke going, you can't help yourself. You ain't gonna go over that ass and eat hog and cook on that grill. You gonna say, give me some of that brisket, give me some of that chicken. That's all your heart gonna say. It's ready to react. You see a woman looking all good over there, they ain't gonna be thinking about nothing about no getting married, taking the Bible class. It's gonna be like, oh no, I can get some of that. That's how the carnal mind, when I say get in my woman, take her home, not do a righteous way with her, but get some of that, as a man would say. Meaning that he wants to deal with her in an unjust or a unrighteous or a not in a wholesome manner. These women over here, well, they'll tell you what it's like. But this is what that's talking about. Your meditation will focus. What's going to happen when you meditate? Well, let's keep going, because this Psalm 119, there's a few more. Go to the 23rd verse. Let's just look at a few of these. What does the 23rd verse say?
Psalms 119, verse 23. Princes also do sit and speak against me, but thy servant did meditate and in thy statutes.
Now what happens when somebody starts talking about most of us today? What's the first thing we're going to start doing? What? Who you talking about? How you going to talk about me with your... who you talking about you? That's what a lot of us, when it's kind of who they over there talking, no, they don't talk about us. They're talking about us at this table. And then the heart starts going haywire. Next thing you know, y'all, yeah, right? But this brother right here says, the princes also did sit and speak against me, but thy servant, he went and meditated, he gonna hold my peace. I'm gonna hold my peace because I realize, I know these laws where say don't hate your brother. He's meditating on some words that's greater than I'm about to get back. Look at the, let's go, turn to the 48th verse.
Psalms 119, verse 48. My hands also will I lift up unto thy commandments, which I have loved, and I will meditate in thy statutes.
See this? The command where it tells you to love your honor, or excuse me, where it tells you to honor your mother and father, but because you ain't never seen your father, grew up with your father, now your father try to tell you something, correct you for the first time, now you want to cuss him out. And where you been? You ain't been nowhere. You gonna tell me about the woman I'm supposed to choose? Get the F away from me, you imp. Parents do that today. Children do that today because that parent ain't been around. And the father, parent, they eat it up because they say, well, yeah, man, I should have been there. And they just take it.
Yeah, just
take it.
Right.
No. Your heart now is otherwise because you felt some loss and now you ready to jump on them. You felt like they owe you something, so now you rash. It's desperately wicked. That is your father, your mother. You don't talk to them like that. But you don't care. But they should. They shouldn't have this. They shouldn't have that. Desperately wicked. But once you meditate and you understand, wait a minute, man, if I cuss them off, something happen, I got to drive home tonight. I got to leave out my house tomorrow. That meditation right there, you know, let me go. Let me walk away. That is what he's talking about here. That's what breaks down that desperation. You able to focus on something to keep your mind in a steadfast way. Turn, look at the 78th verse.
Psalms 119, verse 78. Let the proud be ashamed, for they dealt perversely with me without a cause, but I meditate in thy precepts.
So what is that saying? Without they messing with him. You know how people walk down the hallway, let's go over there, let's throw some rocks at him. Hey man, that's such and such. Hey, da. Right? Y'all done been there. We come to Blink Ice, we done see that all the time. Kids walking down, oh look at them, look at them, throw some rocks at them. You understand? And that's because we might know them, or we might just be whatever. But you gonna start talking about them, and then what happened now? Y'all going back and forth. That 48, what did I say, 78? It says, let the proud be ashamed, for they dealt perversely with me without a cause. And that's when somebody always messing with somebody. That's the pride. The pride. But he knew better. He could have retaliated and said, well, they did me, I'm going to do them. They went low, I went lower. He didn't say that. He said, let me what? I will meditate in the precepts to teach me to, what's Proverbs talks about, Proverbs 1, go from the presence of a foolish man without perceiving not in him the lips of knowledge. That probably ain't Proverbs 1, but it talks about go, turn from it, turn away. That's what that's talking about. But he understood that your meditation will keep you in a certain state. Your desperation will cause you to lash out. That's right. You desperate. Oh, he offended me. Well, who are you? Both of y'all made by Yahweh. Both of y'all gonna die. Y'all gave y'all 24 hours in a day. If you want to be wicked, then pack it up and go that way. Maintain your integrity. Tell yourself you need something. I need a new car. I need that house. I need this promotion. Yeah, I'm walking away. Remember this for me. That's your payment that you need in that prayer. Take that sacrifice with you and let it be good for you. Or you can sit there and start arguing and justify. So you shouldn't have said nothing. Y'all ain't get them. Y'all see. Y'all know how we do it. But I just want to go, I can go on and on because this whole 119 is talking about, when you read this brother right here, he talks about how he'll meditate and how he'll think on and how he has hope in Yah and hope in his word and hope. And those are the attributes. When you're able to meditate, your meditation disrupts your desperation. You understand that? That doesn't mean that we're not all going to be, because y'all tempted us with that hunger. We became desperate. What happened when we got hungry? We wanted to quail. We wanted to go back and get some leeks and onions from We wanted a lot of things. So I hope that this has been of some significance to you, because I wish Sister Beulah would say, I hope she's listening online, because that's why we don't miss a week here in class. Because we can have some things that will come and they'll stick with you all week long, especially if you're trying to have some level of love for Yah. It's going to be on your mind. All right? So without any further ado, I definitely want to get our elder up here to give some words of wisdom, because it is our elders who we're the heads of our families, and oftentimes it's our elders that have those life experiences to help us see things that we ourselves have yet to reach in life to be able to see. Without any further ado, I would like to call our dearly beloved elders of Zerubbabel up. Let's rise and give him a warm welcome, and we give praise to the Almighty by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Giving thanks and praise to the Holy One of Israel. Oh, I miss you guys so much, so much. I'm telling you, you may be seated. Hallelujah. Oh, my goodness. In the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, praise the mighty God. You know, we talked about raising our kids and having the right spirit and the right attitude. And it's so important as we get older, especially as an elder. You know, sometimes we think you automatically know things. And it's not like that. We always constantly got to keep teaching and teaching and teaching, reinforcing the things that are important to the Most High and to our kids, to our wife, to our children. And those things are respect, honor. You know, I'm so proud to be an Israelite. I am so proud to be the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Oh, I'm telling you the truth. Ever since I come in this way of life, I've raised 13 children. I have 34 grandchildren. One of them was just born about maybe a month or so ago. So, I mean, it's just growing like leaps and bounds, and I'm telling you that I would never have been that way if it wasn't for the Almighty. So, in the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, let me get there real quickly. Isaiah, the 6th chapter. Giving thanks and praise to the Holy One of Israel, our Savior, our Redeemer. In Isaiah, the 6th chapter, starting at the 9th verse.
Isaiah chapter 6, verse.
No, I'm sorry, start at the 8th verse.
Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Also, I heard the voice of Yahweh saying, who shall I send, and who shall go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me.
And he said, send me. You know, when the Almighty confronts you and you wake up to become an Israelite, your next thing is you can't wait to go tell everybody the word of the true and living Creator. I mean, because this truth is so it put together so finely, so great, that you want everybody to know this way of life. You want everybody to know the truth. And if you got a spirit for truth, which you probably had ever since you was born, I always say sometimes in a family, there's somebody, the fourth person in the born, or sometimes they use the term black sheep, but somewhere that person is responsible, take care of things, and I always seen things don't go the way they want it to go. And yet here come the Almighty, just snatch them up, give them his knowledge, give them his truth, and that person stands straight up and said, I know who I am. I know why I was saved. I know why I was delivered. I know why the Almighty took me out of the crack house, out of the whole house, out of the drug house, out of the criminal house, out of the jail house, out of this bad relationship or this other situation that was no good for me. Sometimes I think I should have been dead, but I'm not. You know, sometimes when the Almighty says to you, who shall I send? It's that very person that they thought that wasn't going to be nothing, and here you go. Here you go, walking right along, telling them the truth about the true and living Creator. That's what happened to me. He said, who shall I send? I raised my hand so quick. I said, send me, Yahweh, send me, send me. I don't care. I don't care. I was down there in the park, and these Rastafari, my good brother, they came, they circled around me, and they was talking about Haile Selassie, which I have great respect for, and how he was the Messiah. And I took my Bible, me and brother Tyree was there, and I knocked every book out their hand. And everybody jumped back, oh man, Swell Brother lost his mind. But I was so excited, I didn't have sense enough to be afraid. Who shall I send? Who shall go for the Almighty? And then he said, send me. I'll go. And that's what the Almighty is asking you today. Yes, sir. Who gonna go for me? Who gonna be my example? If I'm your father, then where's my what? Where's my honor? Where's my honor from those that say they love me? From those that say they represent me? I represent the Almighty. Hallelujah. I stand for the Almighty. Hallelujah. I walk with the Almighty. Hallelujah. And I said, send me, y'all. I'm ready to go. I'm not afraid. Right. And if you scared to carry this word, the Almighty ain't sending you nowhere. He ain't sending no weak, pie-back, soft-chested man nowhere. The Almighty don't want them. He wants somebody as bold as a what? As a lion. Who's not afraid. Not afraid to be married. Not afraid to raise his children. Not afraid to be an example. Not afraid to start cussing and fussing and arguing and fighting. He's not afraid because he knows who he is. And when you know who you are, brothers, you ain't got no time to be beating on nobody. You ain't got time to cuss her out. You ain't got time to use words that don't uplift the Almighty. You understand me? Almighty said a man is made in the image and in the likeness of him. You know who you're dealing with. These are the servants of the true and living Creator. Who shall I send? And the Almighty said, send me. Send me. In the book of Isaiah, the 49th chapter, if you turn there, brother, please. Isaiah 49:1. Giving thanks and praise. I'm so happy. You know, my Christian brothers, I love them so much because they get so excited when they talk about their Christian gods. You know, they get to talking about how he redeemed them, how he saved them, how he walked the mighty long way with them. And I said, Lord, have mercy. They ain't heard nothing when you talk about our Creator. Oh my goodness, you talking about the living Creator, never died. He ain't have to raise him up because he's already raised up. And you can't take him, you can't beat him up, you can't slice him up, you can't nail him to a cross because he cannot die. He said, I lift up my hand and I swear, I live forever. You understand me? We serve a Redeemer, a Savior. One that we can walk with and depend on. I'm telling you today, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, you serve a Savior. Now, what is a Savior? Somebody that can save. And what I mean by save, I'm talking about not wait till you die and save you. I'm talking about save you right now. Right now. Your blessing is coming. You ain't got to go to Jerusalem. I'm talking about when I go to Jerusalem, when they come and get me. No, I said right now. The Almighty's in the blessing business right now. And if you can't look over your life and tell me you ain't been blessed, something wrong. That's right. Something is wrong. He pulled you up and pulled you out for you can be a representative of his. Yes, sir. I made you, I created you, I formed you, and thou art mine. He said, I love you. You know what, I'm telling you something, brothers and sisters, when the Almighty God tell you he love you, I mean, that's the love that you cannot even understand. That's the type of love that will not leave you at night. That's the type of love that will not lie to you. That's the type of love that will not deceive you. That's the type of love that will not use you. The Almighty said, I'm the rock, and I'm your Savior. Praise his holy name. Somebody say hallelujah. 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 Start reading that 49:1 right quick for me, brother. Give me thanks and praise.
Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far. Yahweh hath called me from the womb. From the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name. And he hath made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand hath he hid me. And he hath made me a polished shaft. and his quiver hath he hid me.
Yes, he hath hid you and brought you out when it was time for you. Sometimes, you know, everybody want it right now. They want instant oats, instant everything. But it ain't like that. The Almighty is slow. He moves you right along. You understand? And before you know it, you're grown. You're ready to take on the responsibility of a husband, of a father, a wife, your children. These are the things that's important to the Almighty. Above us is Him. Then the man, then his woman. What are we supposed to be doing if we're not supposed to be reincarnating, rededicating our life to the true and living Creator? Yes, sir. And I'm telling you, He's worth every time, every minute, every second of your time to give Him love. I'm telling you now, keep on telling you reading.
And he said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified.
All right, if you want glory, the Almighty don't get no glory unless you praise Him. You understand? He wants you to praise Him. And how do you praise the Almighty? You talk about it. You go inside, you're the baddest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're perfect in beauty, y'all. Y'all, I don't want nobody but you. I don't love nobody but you. You the rock of my life, Father. I'm telling you, when you love Him like that, He come right back and love you again. I'm telling you. Give Him praise. And I tell you something, if you want love from your man, give that man some praise. I'm trying to tell you. All you have to do is say, oh, you are so strong. He'll pick up 2 weights. I'm serious. Oh, you just, I love it when you wear blue. You wear blue every day. Just give Him some praise. That's how you uplift Him. See, and you want to uplift Him because He's your husband. He's your man. And you're supposed to uplift her because she's your woman, brother. You can't get nothing, you can't get better than an Israelite woman, man. Brothers told me, I'd rather get a heathen than transfer her into a real one. Yeah, all right, keep on trying it if you want to. If it ain't in it, it ain't in it. My uncle told me one time you can't take a donkey to a thoroughbred horse race and expect it to win. You guys man donkeys. You want a real one, you know what I'm saying? Can a donkey compete with a thoroughbred horse? These are thoroughbreds over here. Thoroughbred sisters. You can't beat them with a stick. I'm trying to tell you, brother, I love you. And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. And the Almighty appreciates you. Don't think, well, everything you're doing is in vain, as we talked about Solomon earlier. How he looked at life. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you get so wise, you lose it. You know, you lose sight of things because you get to wonder, man, what is I'm here for? You know, what is my purpose in life? My God, I leave my kids this, they turn out to be crazy. I married this man, he turned out to be a nutcase. Or vice versa with the brothers. I thought she was a queen, but she turned out to be hell. You understand there's so many ways to be a fool, you can't what? You can't miss them all. Somewhere you're going to make a mistake. But I'm here to tell you won't make no mistake with the Almighty. You ain't never made a mistake with Him. As long as you put Him in your life and keep Him in your life, sisters and brothers, and keep Him first, I'm a witness. In the book of Isaiah, the 43rd chapter, if you start there, the first verse, what does it say? 43 and 1.
Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1. But now, thus saith Yahweh that created thee, O Yaakov, and He that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine.
Now, don't that sound kind of selfish to you? You mine. You belong to me. You know, a woman love you here. Brother, you want to make that girl you mine, girl. You belong to me. Yes, you belong to me. And that's what the Almighty is telling us today. You're mine. You belong to me. You're not just here, just running around, just doing nothing, just existing because you can. You have a purpose in life, a reason in life. You have a purpose for living. You are mine. Now watch what He tell you. Continue reading a few more verses here.
When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee.
Oh, let me tell you something. If you think you're going to drown, watch what the Almighty tell you. He said, when you pass through that water, I'm going to be what? I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't think you're going through something by yourself. Quit thinking you're going through some mental, emotional depression, which we all have to go through because of society and what we've been through. We're all suffering from some type of mental, emotional breakdown. I'm telling you the truth is widespread. And a lot of times we don't even know it's so in us that every time we see a cop, we get nervous. It's in us. It's bred in us. Nobody had to tell me not to talk to a white girl. Nobody even had to tell me that. I knew it automatically. You understand what I'm talking? I just knew it. Why? Because our ancestors and what they went through in this country. And we are the children of the children of the children of those people. And I'm telling you what they did to them is unspeakable. They don't even talk about it. Even when you read a book, you got to put it down. You see pictures of them. A brother asked me to say, he said, you know some brothers who I can see if you hang a man. Maybe he could rape somebody. Maybe he kill somebody. But why in the world would you hang a woman? What did she do? Who did she hurt? These are the things that we have gone through. And this is why we have such mental and emotional problems today. It is here.
It's in our DNA.
It's in our DNA. And you can't get away from it if you try. And the only way you can get redeemed from it is walk with the Almighty. He can go before you and make the crooked things what? Straight. He'll give you a reason for living. He'll tell you, don't you worry about that. I forgot all about that. I ain't remembering that no more. Why you keep talking about it? I ain't bringing it up, so why you keep bringing it up then? I forgot about it, brothers. Whatever you did in the past, you in my house now. All that fussing and cussing you did back, you in my house now. All that arguing and fighting sisters and can't figure out who you belong to, who you want to be with, you know who you are now. You're an Israelite. You're the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. That's who I am. I'm an Israelite, and I'm proud. I'm proud to be an Israelite. But when y'all pass it through the waters, I said, y'all, He gonna be with you. Continue reading.
And through the rivers they shall not overflow thee. And when thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee.
Ain't that something? And the three brothers went to, the three brothers, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Testimonies letting you know the Creator is able. He's able to save you. And He said, I have redeemed thee. See, we think redeeming, like you finna get something's gonna happen. Almighty said, I've already redeemed you. You already saved. See, you already been called out. Already. You ain't got to have nobody do nothing else for you. They don't have to die for you, cut themselves for you, turn the flip for you. You already saved. You're already called by His name. And no man can give you a better name than the name that the Almighty gave you. Israel. Israel. My servant. When thou passing through the water, I'm walking with you. I said when you walk on the desert, you say, I'm so alone, I ain't got nobody with me. And you don't see nobody's footsteps but yours. You say, oh, ain't nobody with me. My mama gone. My daddy done left me when I was 2 years old. I ain't seen him ever. Ever have I seen him. Nobody's with me. I'm sick. I don't even want to live no more. And I'm walking along these desert streets. And all the time I'm looking down, all of a sudden I see my footsteps and I'm walking. And I don't realize it ain't my footsteps. It's the footsteps of the Almighty. And He's carrying me on His shoulders. He's saying, rubber bell, don't you worry about that. I got you, bro. I'm going to give you the type of foundation that you'll never fall down from. I'm going to give you the type of strength that when you walk among your enemy, I'll make your enemies be at peace with you. You understand? I'll be able to have you to make judgment that you ain't going over there no more. You ain't going over that foolishness no more. You understand? You can't pay me to go over there no more. I'm going to go right there straight. That's my sister and that's my brother. If I said something wrong to your sister, I'm sorry. I love you. Brother, I love you. You my brother. But that's where I'm going. I'm going the right way. Because I owed it to my Most High. I owed it to our ancestors. See, they didn't have all the knowledge and gadgets that we have, but they were good people. Righteous people. They had manners and respect. They had one dress a year, and it was clean when they went to the church. Nowadays, you can't, brother, walk in anytime they want to walk in. Look like they don't care how they look unless it's for an interview. But you come in the house of Yah, you come in the house of Yahweh, looking and smelling any kind of way. Are you kidding me? The king? I promise you, ever since I came in this way of life, when I found out who I was, I got rid of that Jerry curl girl. That three-piece suit I was wearing, that pink bell-bottom suit. I was so happy to know who I was, I didn't know what to do. I called my grandmother on the phone. I said, Gran, I just found out that the people of the Bible is black. Oh, Gran, I just found out that we Israelites. And my grandmother said, well, yes, son, I know that. Your great-grand told me. I was like, oh, my goodness. I really love my grandmother then. I mean, I'm coming, because we used to talk every night. But boy, when she started talking to me and understood who we were and who we are, I'm telling you, ain't nothing like having somebody to put their arm around you and love you and make you feel special.
That's right.
Nothing like it in the world. If you got children, you got a wife, make them feel special. My grandmother made me feel special. Out of all my brothers, and I'm talking about I got plenty too. Just like I got plenty of kids, I got plenty of brothers and sisters too. And they're all good people, and I won't say that about them. They're very, very good people. The Most High has blessed me so much, and I love Him so much. Just a few more verses, then I'm going to get down from here. 2 more verses. Go ahead.
For I am Yahweh thy Elohim, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee.
You understand? He naming nations. He ain't talking this little, you know, I gave some marbles for you, a couple of sheep and some goats. The Almighty, He's talking about nations that He gave for you. That's how you was precious in His what? In His sight. Don't y'all know who you serve? Don't you know who loves you? Oh my goodness, He said, I gave nations for you. Continue reading.
Since thou wast precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee, and people for thy life.
And I'm telling you something. In other words, the Almighty said that you know He's jealous. He ain't letting nobody mess with His. That's mine. I know what jealousy is because I'm made in the image and likeness of the Creator, right? And I'm telling you right now, I used to be so jealous, girl. Somebody look at my girl, I would knock them out. I used to fight every week. They have no rule over my spirit at all. Just fight. Yo, don't you, what you looking at? What you looking at her for? You got a problem, brother? And the Most High feel like that about y'all. You got a problem?
That's right.
You got a problem, Uncle Al? You got a problem, Miss Christie? Do y'all know who you're messing with? These kids are precious in my sight, and I love them. And I'm giving nation for them. Verse 5, read that.
Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east, and gather thee from the west.
In other words, don't you worry, y'all. Don't worry about a thing, I promise you. The Almighty is not a liar. He said, I'm going to get you. And He ain't talking about, you know, in 2019, y'all going to gather and go down in some ships and some boats and land in Virginia town some damn well. No. No. When the Almighty come and get you, you're going to know it's who? The Almighty. And He ain't leaving nobody. I said if you crippled, I don't care if you're in a hospital, I don't care if you got CPD, I don't care what's wrong with you. If you His servant, you getting out of here. You ain't leaving nobody. So I know everybody else got their own little escapism. But it ain't the Almighty escapism. When he come and get you, the world gonna know. I said the world is gonna know. You don't mess with these little small things. That don't mean nothing to him. I tell brothers, no way. He said, I'm not gathering you from the north, the south, the east, and west. Sisters and brothers, he's talking the real deal.
That's right.
He don't mess with these little one nation. You know, he named 4 of them right here. I gave all of them for you. And now they done enslaved us, killed us, hung us, burned us, dragged us, just lied to us all, and brainwashed you. I hate to be this man. Hate to be. The Almighty said even a wicked person, even a prayer is an abomination. He's not even listening to them.
That's right.
And if you ain't right with him, he ain't listening to you. Get right with the Most High.
That's right.
You want to be saved out of this?
That's right.
He gonna save you.
Thank you, Yah.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
He ain't nothing to be played with.
That's right.
Let everybody say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I said hallelujah.
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 Thank you so much for allowing me to bring these words to you. I love you and praise the Most High for all his wonderful work. Hallelujah.
All right. Let us give our elder one more round of applause. Spoken, beautiful words, so fitly spoken by our elder. We want to thank him for his beautiful, beautiful remarks and his words of wisdom, and hopefully will leave us all inspired this week to continue to move in a way that is righteous. Did you have something you want to say? Okay. All right, elder. Would you mind closing out the class for us?
You know I'm honored. You know me.
This is the Shema. Let us all stand and face the east. We want to thank everyone for coming out with us today and sharing their Shabbat with us. We ask that the Almighty keep each and every one of you, and we hope to see you all same time next week. Hallelujah.
Oh, Heavenly Father, creator of heaven to earth and sea, I want to thank you so much for all the things you've given me. Thank you for the nation. Thank you for all the things. Father, as we bow our heads, I want to say, bless Yahweh, my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless Yahweh, my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgive all thy iniquities, who heal all thy diseases, who redeemed thy life from destruction, who crowned thee with loving kindness and tender mercies. It is Yah that execute righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. He made known his ways unto Moses and his acts unto the children of Israel. Yahweh has not dealt with us after our sins, nor has he rewarded us according to our iniquities. For as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has removed our transgression from us. Like as a father pity his children, Yahweh pitieth them that fear him. For he knoweth our frame and remember that we are dust. Oh Yah, as we bow our heads and say thank you for this holy Shabbat day, we thank you from the bottom of our heart for all the things that you bestowed upon us. I love you, Father. We love you. Let everybody, the sound of my voice, lift up their voice and say, Hallelujah! 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 All praise, all honor to the Holy One of Israel.
Hallelujah. Shema, Israel, Yahweh, Eloheinu, Yahweh, Akkad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh is one. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the mighty Yah lift up his countenance upon you and each and every one of us and give us peace. And may the name of Yahweh rest upon each and every one of us. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty God.
Good class, Good class. I'll be here Saturday. Let's talk this week. Okay. We'll call you, man.